Welcome to Launch Code, a premier business podcast, starring Evan Hafer, Matt Best, and Jared Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Launch Code, the premier business podcast. And when I say premier, I mean the best. I would say that. Wouldn't you, TJ?
I would definitely say
Is it the best? I would say the best.
It's the best. I've been listening to it for weeks.
We have the coolest people.
Definitely.
I mean, very few. I mean, there's a lot of boring people on a lot of boring podcasts, but we have fun people. Ladies and gentlemen, that voice that you are hearing is none other than TJ Kirgin, the founder.
TJ Kirgin.
The founder and creator of TacticalShit.com. TJ,
that is correct.
You and I have a long history.
Yeah, it does kind of seem kind of long, doesn't it? But it really isn't. It's like, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that?
So, around 7, I would say. I'm going to let you start at the beginning. Like, what do you remember? How do you remember all this going down?
Well, if you start before I ran into you, I started Tactical Shit as a Facebook page just because I was an ex-police officer that had a decent, moderate knowledge about the AR-15 platform, and everybody was buying these things. It was going crazy during the Obama administration. And so I started this Tactical Shit Facebook page as a place to, post pictures of big titties with guns and give gun advice and tell morbid jokes and things like that. And it went crazy. So I got into becoming a Facebook admin, and we had, we were getting 6 figures in fans and things like that back in the heydays of Facebook. And my memory of running into you was I was an admin on Girls for Gunslingers.
Yeah.
And I think you were as well. And Girls for Gunslingers and Tactical Shit were doing some collaboration stuff. And you and I ran into each other that way, if I remember correctly.
That was right when we were in the start of the news team.
Yeah.
And it was right when you created the page, because at the time too, I had BFT, big fake titties, guns, and manly shit that'll piss your girlfriend off.
Yeah. And you were also working on Botstick Collective.
Yes. So Gary Stevens, the art director of BlackRifle Coffee, and myself had an ad / production company called Botstick Collective. So
right,
we were,
and that's why you and I hit it off, because I come from the other than the law enforcement.
You were doing a lot of you were the radio. I
run an ad agency in St. Louis. I still do. I still make TV commercials for car dealers every month.
So I do remember that first conversation now, and that was also back when we, so at that time, this is around 2011, 2012, or it was around 2011. No, 2012 is where we're at, and we had created Operation Social Media,
right?
The group.
Yep.
In order to get in the group, you had to be an admin of a page of 250,000 followers or higher. And we had 14 people in that group, and that accounted for close to 11 million Facebook followers. And we used to sign up for days of which we would post things and have it shared by the whole group.
Right. It was a giant share collaboration group, a very powerful organization.
I mean, we had Girls for Gunslingers, we had BFT, we had Cold Dead Hands. We had
Mullen Labe Industries, I think, was one of them.
Mullen Labe Industries. We had Funker 530. We had, this was all the early days of the only people that were putting things out on the internet.
Right. Everybody's creating content. Everybody had fans, and we'd amplify that content by doing the share thing in an organized way. Did you hear what happened to Mullen Labe Industries just the other day?
No, I did not.
I haven't talked to Chris Gleason in a long time, but
that's a name I haven't heard in a while too.
Right. He was one of the 206 conservative pages deleted by Facebook last week in advance of the midterm elections. Facebook has shut down 206 pages, all of which were the guys that were sharing the political memes and the political articles with the what Facebook calls engagement bait or clickbait titles. 206 pages gone, like 500 profiles gone. Everybody, this. I heard Chris lost his profile. His wife lost her profile because she was an admin on the page. And then there's a bunch of those pages are getting together and actually, from what I heard, filing suit against Facebook.
Wow, it's a hard thing to win because you're using a free, privately owned platform. They can do whatever they want.
Absolutely.
I know people scream the First Amendment. I know people scream that it's unfair, but at the end of the day, you're using somebody else's yard.
Yeah.
You're in somebody else's yard and you're yelling at them. Why?
Yeah, and it's okay to shit in that yard. You just got to make sure you don't shit in the yard too many times.
Yeah. So tell us about when you took Tactical Shit from a Facebook page that was funny and fun and just a hobby and turned it into a business.
Yeah, well, I'm from after being in law enforcement, I was a drug and gang cop in North St. Louis County. I did that for about 5 years full time, and then I stayed doing it part time for a couple of years as I got into the advertising and marketing industry. And when I was in advertising and marketing, I learned a lot from a lot of people because I was the ad guy, and I worked for a lot of business owners and a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of crotchety old men that made a lot of money. And I learned a lot from those guys. And the one thing I learned was, opportunity comes and goes. You're going to have a lot of failures in life, but the difference is the guy that seizes the opportunity. And so when Tactical Shit, the Facebook page, got to like 3,000 fans in a weekend, which back then that was a lot. I said, hey, we might be onto something here. I actually walked into the ad agency, which is called Anchor Communications. I walked into Anchor and I called everybody in the conference room. I'm like, hey, y'all don't really know this about me or whatever, but, I like guns and I'm doing this thing. And, maybe I could make a little extra money here to pay for some ammo, And so my art director, who his name's Mike Meiniger, no longer with us. He moved on to another agency. But Mike is an incredible artist. And I said, hey, I need a logo for this. And Mike said, I don't want to be involved, TJ. I said, what? And Mike was anti-gun. He was pro-Obama, right? Typical art director.
Ew.
Yeah, typical art guy, right? And so, but I respected him. I said, hey, Mike, that's cool. I'll outsource it to somebody else. Well, the next day, before I had a chance to outsource it, Mike walks in the office and throws what is now the Tactical Shit logo on my desk. And he says to me, I don't know why, but this came to me last night. And I looked at it and I was like, holy fuck, this is like Nike swoosh, bad comparison these days. But at that time, I was like, this is like the Nike of the tactical industry. This is fucking awesome. And so I think the logo had a lot to do with the further amplification, that logo and the great content. And so then we started monetizing it. How do we make some money to buy some ammo? And I'd done a lot of e-commerce stuff in the past. There was at one time in my life, I actually sold stuffed animals on the internet.
Wow.
Shit you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
So I failed miserably at it. I lost a ton of fucking money selling stuffed animals on the internet once. And so I knew how to do e-commerce though. So we built this piece of shit e-commerce website, and I did some market research about what our fans were into. This is even before they started calling themselves tactical shitheads. I realized that morale patches, those Velcro morale patches y'all made famous in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Huge market for that.
Yeah, they were going mainstream at the time, and we were definitely helping that, with all the pages sharing the different pictures and whatnot. And so long story short, I decided, hey, there's a great margin in these morale patches. I don't need a warehouse. I can fit them in my drawer.
Yeah.
Bought $3,000 worth of, and I sold them for $6,000. Then I bought $6,000 worth of morale patches, and I sold them for $12,000. And this is in a couple weeks. Then I bought $12,000 worth of morale patches, and I sold them for $24,000. And then I said, maybe we should sell something other than morale patches. And then I bought $12,000 worth of morale patches and $12,000 worth of body armor. And then basically,
how do you jump from patches to body armor? Like, where was that? Like,
well,
hey, let's do patches and then body armor.
I don't think we jumped directly to body armor. I think our number 2 product after morale patches, and probably the most successful product to this day at this company, is the skull mask. You remember the
Yes,
days when
absolutely.
every picture on the internet was a skull mask?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I remember
Dude,
when you were telling me about them. You're like, dude, I could get these for this, and we're selling them for this. This is amazing.
We're getting them for $1 from China, and we're selling them for like $10, and we were selling like 500-600 of them a day. It was stupid. It was stupid. We still sell the shit out of them. I mean, nowhere near like they used to, but we definitely it was an interesting product. But those products, those tchotchke products, led us to eventually saying, hey, we probably ought to sell real tactical gear, and that's when we got into the body armor and the
yeah, but let's talk.
belts.
Let's talk your scale here. Like at this point, you were fulfilling in house with patches in drawers. What did you do? When was that kind of fear moment of, oh, we're getting over our head with orders, and I don't have the people or I don't have the systems in place.
Yeah, I've had that fear moment about 5 or 6 times.
So tell me about that. So tell me about your 5 times that you have had to scale, because I know that first Christmas that you did, it was like a hair pull. Like, oh fuck, how am I going to ship all this shit?
Right. No, my wife at the time was a grocery store manager in a deli. And she had told me one day, I was on the computer, probably fucking chatting with you. And she walks by me in the kitchen at the computer and she says, get off the fucking computer. You're not going to make a dime. You're not going to make $1 from tactical shit. Well, by the end of that first year, she had quit her job at Deerberg's, the grocery store, and was working basically 24 hours a day in the shipping department. My wife, my daughter, some of our people from the ad agency were also back in the back shipping shit. And we were running it out of the back of an ad agency on a building I owned on Main Street in St. Charles, Missouri, which is a little brick, 18th century, Main Street.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
And so you're right. The first oh shit was that Christmas, but we made it happen. We learned a lot. We weren't using any kind of systems. We were basically doing everything.
I mean, we've been there. Like we pulled fulfillment in-house to BlackRifle, and then there was a moment where me, Evan, and Matt were sitting there with 16,000 backed orders, and me, Evan, and Matt put our asses out on the fucking pick line, and for 3 days we boxed fucking coffee, and Matt Best was fucking sending things down the fucking roller.
Yep, and that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
That's what real business owners do. Like, So if you've never heard those stories from everybody that's just flapping their gums about how fucking great they are at business and marketing and how you need to, work harder or whatever bullshit they're fucking
grind.
Grind, side hustle. Yeah, great. Start asking them questions about that. Like because advice of work harder and grind and side hustle is not advice. It's just fucking hot air.
Yeah. Well, tactical shit was my side hustle.
I know. All of this was like
that's
all of us.
That's why it worked out, right? Because for me, I didn't take a paycheck for 3 years. And that seems to be the magic number. I hear that story a lot on different entrepreneurial podcasts. And mine, it wasn't about math or science. There was no, you don't take a paycheck for 3 years. It was, I couldn't. It didn't, I was reinvesting every dollar into the company. I had the other businesses. I started a software company when I was, 25 or something. I owned the ad agency. I even own a website. Another secret. I also own a website called textsanta.net, where little kids get text messages from Santa Claus during Christmas. Their grandparents send them to them or whatever. And, that business, that business, I got interviewed on Fox News once by Fox and Friends in the Morning for that Text Santa business. This is years before tactical shit. And I thought for sure I was going to be filthy rich. I'm on Fox News, brother. And, we sold 1,000 orders in the next 24 hours for $3.99. And we thought we were making tons of money. And now that company still exists, but it makes me about 10 grand a year. That's it. But because of those different things, I grew up learning that multiple revenue streams were the key to financial success. And you always had to replace old revenue streams as they died with new revenue streams. It could be $50 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever. You got to have these revenue streams coming in. And so I had enough revenue coming in for those first 3 years of running tactical shit that I was able to reinvest 100% of the revenue generated by the website, back into product. And I kept expanding and expanding and expanding until the second oh shit happened. The second oh shit, listen closely to this one. I had what was it, 600,000 in inventory or something like that at the end of the year. in body armor and T-shirts and patches and blah blah blah. And we had turned the entire back of the ad agency into a freaking warehouse. It was a warehouse with these beautiful wood floors. But anyway, so my accountant comes to me and he says, "You owe $280,000 in taxes," and I'm like, "What? Excuse me? Excuse me? What did you say?" And I was this close to eating my gun. And he's like, I said, "I didn't take any money. I haven't sold that shit. It's inventory. How do I pay income tax on shit when I haven't made any income?" And he explains it to me, "Well, they consider that inventory to be income, even though you haven't sold it yet." And so I had to then go, I had done this, what they call bootstraps, right? I didn't have any investors. I didn't have any partners. I didn't have any bank money, nothing. It was all 3,000 to 6,000 to 12,000 to 24,000 to 48,000.
Yep,
It was flip
it grew
flip
on
it, flip
itself.
it.
You flip.
But then at the end of that year, I had to come up with $280K in cash, and I probably had like 12 grand, right?
Holy
because
shit.
I hadn't placed an order for the next thing. And so I had to go to the bank and I had to show the bank and I had to create the P&Ls and the financials and I'd recreate a whole year's worth of financials. I had to pay the accounts to do that. And so then they gave me a $300,000 line of credit, which I then needed $280,000 to pay my taxes. So essentially I was forced into debt. It's almost like part of the game, right? As soon as you're successful, they force you to borrow from the bank.
Yeah.
So I borrowed $300,000 to pay my $280,000, and business just kept going. And so I went from being suicidal about that to I actually paid that $280,000 off in like 6 months.
Wow.
Or less, and then I had a $300,000 line of credit available to me, and I was like, "Holy shit! That debt went away really quickly. This is really impressive." And I still hadn't taken a paycheck yet. So
it wasn't until the third year that Matt, Evan, and I took a paycheck from BlackRifle.
Yeah. Well, then you're gonna laugh at me because you make fun of me about this all the time. But instead of taking a paycheck the first time around, as soon as I paid that line of credit down, I bought a Lamborghini.
I made fun of you the day you did that.
I know you did.
And,
you know what?
and really, I have a video coming out in a couple days about you can never own a Lamborghini and not look like a douche.
Right? No, I'm fine. I play a douche on the internet, so it kind of fits
perfect.
the whole thing. Yeah. So anyway, I bought a Lamborghini with the business line of credit, and my accountant's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Watch this." I paid that off in 2 months. And then my wife was like, "Okay, you're done. We need a paycheck now." And so that was kind of my first ever cashing in my chips, if you will. But then the next oh shit happened, and I'm not sure in what order this was, but you wanted to know the oh shits.
Yes, I like the oh shits because this is real. You're giving people real issues in a business.
The next major oh shit was our business. Our company's run out of St. Charles, Missouri, which is 7 miles from a small town called Ferguson. You ever heard of it?
Oh yeah, I heard it's a great vacationing spot.
Yeah, it is. It is. I actually wanted to buy some of the burnt out building land there and build a Battlefield Vegas style place
that
with
would
machine
be
gun rentals,
hilarious.
and then call it Battlefield Ferguson. I think it'd be a world.
I think you should still do that. I seriously think you should do that.
I'm looking for investors, Jared.
But also too, you need to harp on one thing about your business is you have been completely pretty much discriminated against because of the name of your company. You're not able to openly advertise on Facebook.
Oh, absolutely not. No, 100% of Tactical Shit's growth, which right now the main Facebook page is coming up on 1 million fans. We've got 2.9 million total fans, followers, and subscribers across all the pages, platforms, and apps and whatnot that we've got, and our email subscription. And it's been 100% organic because we can't advertise on Facebook or Instagram or Google. Because the word shit is in our name. That's one strike against us, although Google doesn't care about that. The second strike is the fact that we sell gun parts.
Yeah.
We sell lots and lots of gun parts, probably 50%
I mean,
of our sales.
that was like I remember your ramp up. You were just crushing through the little knickknacks, just things that attach to a rail, sights, pieces,
Well, that's what Tactical Shit's all about. When I decided to create Tactical Shit, and buy a website and all that. Somebody said, you're in the wrong business. I said, why is that? I love marketing. And he goes, you need to be marketing guns, motherfucker, because that's all you ever talk about. And I said, I fired back without any thought. I was like, no, I don't. There's a gun dealer on every corner in America. I need to sell tactical shit. And he said, what's tactical shit? I said, it's everything else. It's the muzzle brakes. It's the lasers. It's the red dots. It's the optics. It's the grips, the slings and the stocks and the whatever. And so we've really built a good business, selling that. Along with the tactical gear and all the T-shirts like Article 15 and Grunt Style and all that bullshit. We sell tons and tons of lifestyle apparel. Where was I going with that, Jared?
Well, it's just how you keep the customers coming when you can't just be free to advertise. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. So I can't advertise. Well, I can't advertise because of the gun parts, and I can't advertise because of the word shit. And then I also can't advertise because we sell knives. So in order to be able to advertise, we would have to basically build a clone website and make it liberal friendly. And that's something that we just can't do. We like only sell T-shirts. Only
move into you were a title sponsor for Range 15. You were in Range 15.
I was in Range 15.
Quite a few
I'm
times.
one of the few people that have ever taken it in the ass by Matt Best on camera.
You die a lot in Range 15.
I do die a lot. I die well.
I think I've counted over 3 times you've died in Range 15.
My wife dies in Range 15 too.
It was so fun. It was so fun to have you out there. That was such a good time. Like it was just a big reunion for a lot of people. And
that was amazing.
I hope the script for The Janitor is done, and we are about to enter pre-production for it. If you want in.
I definitely want in. There's no doubt about that. Y'all heard it right here. Tactical Shit wants to be involved in that flick. I remember when I was in California and we were wrapping up production on Range 15 for the couple days that I was there. Matt said, "Hey, are you going to be in the next one?" And I said, "Well, how can I be in the next one? I died like literally 2 or 3 times in this one." And he said, "It's Hollywood, bro. We can do whatever we want."
Well, I honestly think in The Janitor, I think you should die at least 3 times. I think we should just keep that going.
Yeah, I could be like the black guy, but I'm not.
Ferguson, Missouri.
TJ
joke.
always dies first in the movie.
So
hey, you know what? So I didn't get to the one thing I wanted to tell you. So Ferguson jumps off, right? The riots, the burning down of the buildings. So this is the next fear point. So I come to work, the next day, after the riots, I come to work, and because I'm an ex-North County cop, I know that area really well. I know the people really well. I know their habits and whatnot. And I tell some of my guys, and I employ mostly vets. I said, hey, grab a couple ARs, grab some body armor. Hey, you go grab a camera. We're going into the riots. And they're like, what? I'm like, we're going into the riots. We're going to go make some videos. And so we went into day 2, about 11 a.m., so it was fairly calm in there. And we did a video right in front of the burned down Quick Trip. And that video not only went virally nationally, we called it Tactical Tom Brokaw. It was like a little mission we did, a little incursion mission. And we did a story that was very pro-police right in front of the Quick Trip. And while it was still smoldering.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
It went viral nationally, but it also went viral locally within the law enforcement community. Like every cop in St. Louis, and there's shitloads of them. There's 186 municipalities in St. Louis County.
Holy
Everyone's
shit.
got a police department. Basically, the cops were like, hey, did you see this ex-cop doing the video in front of the Quick Trip? This is funny shit. And so I come to work day 3 of the riots, and there are literally police officers looped around my building and looped all the way around the block, standing in a line, waiting to go in the back door so that my people can measure them for body armor and carriers. And because they were getting shot at with AKs every night over there.
Oh, my God.
And so if you remember watching the CNN, the fire line in front of the city hall with all the cops wearing all the tactical gear, I would say 90% of that shit came from Tactical Shit on Main Street in St. Charles. And that was when we decided we needed a retail store because the cops were actually, there were so many of them for so many weeks. They were impeding the shipping operation. They were impeding the agency operation. So we ended up opening the first retail store. I had a stripper that lived in the front apartment of my building. And she had not paid her rent for a while, and so she moved out, ironically, at about the same time. So we went up there and we removed the stripper pole from her bedroom. She actually had a LED dance floor and stripper pole in her bedroom. And we took that out and we built a 1,200 square foot store, retail store, never done retail before in our lives, in this little apartment on Main Street. And it was one of these deals where you had to go up a flight of stairs, knock 3 times on the door, the little thing slides open, and so we did that for a long time. For a couple of years, we actually ran that retail out of the front upstairs apartment of the building, with the shipping in the back and the agency in the front. And I couldn't believe it. It worked. The retail was making money. And a couple of years later, we bought a 11,800 square foot building right on the side of the highway with 100,000 cars a day going by, an old military surplus business, believe it or not. And we've moved the whole operation over here. Now our retail store is about 3,500 square feet. Number one selling product in the store. Can you guess what it is?
BlackRifle coffee.
BlackRifle coffee. We have a huge BlackRifle coffee display right in the front door when you walk in, and it's funny.
Can I send you giant posters of Matt? I'm not going to tell him that I'm doing it. I just want you to send me pictures of just huge posters of him in your store.
We definitely need to do that. We need to do that. So I do radio commercials, and the radio commercials I talk about BlackRifle coffee. And so people come walking in the front door, I shit you not, on a daily basis, standing in front of the huge display of BlackRifle coffee. They look over the top of the display at one of my guys behind the counter, and they say, "Hey, y'all got any BlackRifle coffee?"
Oh, don't worry. It's just like the internet in real life, You
Absolutely.
you post a time, place, time, location, and what's going on, and the first comment is, "When is this?"
Right.
So hey, where can people find you at in the social media world? Website, Instagram, Facebook. If they want to find me and watch the entrepreneurial douchebag guy with the Lamborghinis and shooting guns all the time, then they find me as my alias online is Sig Glock and Colt. That's SIG_Glock in Colt, just like the guns. Sig Sauer, Glock, Colt. Sig_Glock INCOLT. If they want to find Tactical Shit on just about every social media, it's Tactical SHT, just basically Tactical Shit without the I. On Facebook, it is Tactical Shit with the I, because fuck Facebook. And that's about it. You can find us at tacticalshit.com. That's our blog where we do industry news and news you give a shit about on a daily basis. And shop.tacticalshit.com, which is our store that now has 18,000 products from over 200 different brands. And we're basically the Macy's of tactical gear. If you consider your lifestyle to be represented by the word tactical, you're going to love shop.tacticalshit.com. And you'll catch TJ in the next upcoming St. James Street James film project, The Janitor.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome.
Hey, TJ, can't thank you enough for sharing the story. We'll get you back on again, because I would love to do an entire episode of the trials and tribulations of when you went to a retail outlet. But hey, the information that you shared is valuable for anybody out there.
Maybe I'll be able to tell the story about the first time. Maybe I'll be able to tell the story about the first time you and I ever talked on the phone, and you told me about how you had a friend that made funny videos on YouTube, and you guys are going to start a T-shirt company.
Absolutely, that would be great. Again, ladies and gentlemen, TJ Kirgin from Tactical Shit. This is Launch Code.
Thanks for having me on.